Hey everybody, my name is Xavier Taylor. Welcome to another video. Hope everybody's Dave been doing well for real. Hope everybody's been doing well. Hope that everything that you're going through in the personal life is doing better by day. Um, but today, this conversation is gonna be about changing, like just change in general, like change of mindset. Like, what was your mindset a few years ago? And how it changed you now. Like I'm gonna use myself as an example. I wasn't the best in my mindset when I was in early high school or like most of my schooling years, but now like when I hit 11th grade, it was like a reset button. It was like a reality check actually, but it's not the best thing I could have done, but I'm glad it happened because it's who I am today. I'm glad I did it how I did it. But in that same factor, it had to take a moment of change for me to change who I am as a person now. I wasn't able to like talk like this in camera. I wasn't able to talk like how I want to talk. I still have some trouble with it, but it still needs work to be on. And now in the world of Gen Z, that there's a lot of anxiety. People don't like to talk to each other in front of faces unless they really know you, or it's just that people have become more disconnected by talking to other people because of technology, and it changed a lot. Technology changed in a good and a bad way, because the good way is that you can put yourself like out there and get to be known by the world. But most people don't even want that. There's people that value their privacy over more than anything else, you know? And there's the bad use that people use their socials for the wrong reasons or for the deep dark reason. Is like, I don't know. I mean, do you, but don't drag me in it, type of thing. Um, but changing is not completely bad. It's necessary. I mean, when you think of change, you think of people changing. You think of the weather changing. You think of the season change. Seasons change every year. Just like some people can. It just the seasons for people to change. It takes years. It takes some years. It takes some time. It takes time to change. I'm not saying you should change at a fast pace. Change at your own pace too. It's your race. You're not competing with anybody when it comes to your personal stuff. Personal love, personal interest, personal anything that's personal to you, that is your thoughts and mindset. That is up to you to change when you're ready. But even though when people that care about you say that you need to change this, you need to like really look at this. Low key listen to them, even though you might not agree with it now, but later down the road when you really change that factor, you be more appreciated because you have people tell you like, hey, you're a little bit too much like this. Try to balance it out with something else, or you're a little bit too much cocky or like too arrogant. But it's like, balance it out. We're not saying don't be arrogant, but don't be overly arrogant that you're not humble. Don't be don't be too shy, because you might not run into the situation that will give you what you want in life. Like, I was happy that I had parents that taught me certain things to like really carry yourself, especially my father. There are some moments I had a running into, and he corrected me the way that a father should. Even though now in this generation, it's not a lot of good fathers, but there is good fathers. It's just hard. It just became harder to find it because of so many bad ones. You know, but that can change. It's just up to the people that's doing it. Change it. But it's not up to me. It's up to them to change that. And you can't control everyone, every little person. Be like, you need to change, you need to change, you need to change. That's not how that works. Maybe they're changing in their own ways, but it's like it might be for the bad reason or for the good reason. But change is change for a reason. You're just changing in a way that makes you you. I know people that changed for the wrong reasons. I knew people that changed for the good reasons. I knew people that changed for like the reasons I was like, are you sure about that? That don't like a good change at all. Like, for a good example, my hair. It was a phase and a change that I'm glad I took. It wasn't even for a stupid trend that's now been trending for the last couple months, hell, for a year or two. I got this because I wanted to start something new. I wanted to change it up because all I knew was afros and buzz cuts and flat tops. It's crazy, but that's not. I didn't like it too long, but I wasn't too good at taking care of my hair either at the time being. But now since I got this, I value my hair a lot more than I thought I would have ever, because hair is important to me. But I had to make it. I had to ask. I had to really challenge my way to make that change to have this type of hair. I've been growing this for 3 years. I mean, hell, it takes time. Like it takes time. It's like that's why you see trees. I mean, they don't always hang in the grass forever. They change their own ways to grow and become something big and stable. You know, they people now is like we're lazier than ever, and we're too lazy to change that fact. Even though we obviously acknowledge it, we talk about it. We hate our generation all the fucking time because we know how bad it is. But it's like, are you saying it because it makes you look bad? Or are you saying it because that's the genuine truth, how you feel, and you know you can do better than the generation you're in? Not every generation had its goods and had its flaws. Not every generation had not a bad moment. There's every generation had a bad moment, even if it wasn't detrimental. Every generation had its ups and downs, its turnarounds, its roller coasters, its emotion crash. Everything had its moments. Everything had its moments. But where things kind of hit the landline is that technology got more advanced. More kids are more attached to it more than ever. But it's for the wrong uses. It's not even for the positive use. It's just for to watch videos and stuff and just brain rot. Like, I know I have my moments of brain rotting on my phone a lot, but on the same spectrum, I try to balance it out with productive stuff too on it. Like work on my podcast or something, or talk to my friends about the next video we'll probably make, or stuff like this, like I'm doing now. But other than that, I would love to go outside a lot more. I just not around all my friends that I used to hang out with a lot anymore because we're all busy. But it happens. You're not gonna be free all the time. If you're free all the time, what have you been doing? What have you been doing for so long? What have you been doing to change your habits? Like change is literally, I think change is mandatory for what it is. I honestly think change is mandatory for what it is because at the end of the day, no one will care if no one would bother you changing if it's for the good or bad. But in that same instance, balance it out. Like for instance, like you're too cocky. Balance it out by being a little bit humble about yourself. I've been told by a lot of people I'm a humble person. The reason why I am humble because I know that my situation is a good situation, but it's like not a lot of people can have that situation because there's different lives out there. There's harder lives than mine. That's why I don't complain about my life really, because someone has it worse than me. And that was a change that I had to go through. Be like, I need to change it. I thought that I was going through tough times, and I'm not even close. But I'm not gonna stand here and not acknowledge that there was a problem. There was always a problem in something. If it was a good problem or not, there's gonna be. I mean, there's no such thing as a crazy good problem, but a problem that can be fixed is a good problem. A problem that can't be fixed is not a good problem. It's just a problem that's just been sitting there for too long to be acknowledged. And most of those problems are in now today's generation, sadly. Most things have been sexualized. Most things has been hard for people to acknowledge themselves as a human being. Most things has been hard to express how you feel without being criticized or harassed about it. Or your opinions will be dictated of a person who you are. Even if it's a positive opinion, you'll be dictated. Like, it's crazy that not even you feel like you're walking on eggshells just by being you, but you're walking on eggshells on the internet too. But on the same part, you should not take it too serious because everyone's doing something outrageous in the world that you're like, really? And you just question it. Like, That's why I really want to do this, because I mean, there's not a lot of people that have safe places to talk anymore. If you really think about it, like, how many places you think you can say I can talk freely and not be judged critically? I'll You can comment down below about that. And to by my fault, I haven't seen many really. I haven't. I really haven't. Yeah, you might say a couple YouTubers, but that's YouTube. I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis. You can just say something. Like you can say something that's positive, right? Or you can say something that's controversial and not be low key and not even low key, somewhat judged about it and questioned. Like, why do you think this way? What made you think this way? Why does it sound so negative coming out your mouth? It probably came off negative to the person who probably said it, but in your mind, it was a positive note, and that's where people mix things up. People, even me, and I am working on that myself for a good change on top of it. To not assume so much, not to assume the person so much. If you don't even have the information or enough evidence that this is what they really are. Like, I remember that I was in a group of people, and I didn't even know none of them. I just sat there and listened to what they have to say, and I put my own opinion on it. And by my surprise, we all had an agreement on something that I didn't know we would have an agreement on. But it had to take a second of open-minded decisions to get to the conversation of like not second judge to see that. And it takes change, it takes time to really get that skill, because you just can't be like, oh yeah, I'm open-minded, I'm woke. When people say woke now, it's like, to me, it's like you do you know that it's like the definition of woke has been changed so many times. Like, are you woke? It's like, what do you mean by that? Like, are you woke mentally? Like, you know, like the knowledge you know, and you know what it does, and you just know how it works. Are you mentally like, you know what's going on in that? But people use woke as a slang now. It's oh, like I can't even go fully into it. 'Cause it's like, how's that a good change? I mean, ever since, like I said, ever since 2020, things changed drastically to the point that now mental health is at an all-time high because people either kill themselves or they either go into a mute phase where they just don't talk to a lot of people at all. They just keep it to themselves and just bottle it up to the outlash. And I know how that feels because I was there once. But then again, it's like you can get out of that if you take the time to. Not everybody's gonna agree with you while you distance yourself away, and it's okay. But when you know what's what for your health interest and for your personal goal, they should just be supportive of it, even though they don't know what's going on. No matter what, I believe that change is a good thing, especially if it's bad. If it was bad change, that means it was for a reason. We just didn't see the reasoning why. It was just probably for a reason we didn't see, and we just now consider it later on. But in that same instance, we as people, we as in a community, we as human beings alone need to really wake up and acknowledge that we did rights and wrongs. We have differences. We are not the same, obviously, but we all have different mindsets. We all need to either be open minded or understanding of another person, because, I mean, if we're not, what will change? What will change? Because, I mean, I don't see this changing for the positive at all if we don't have that lockdown. And it's hard, and I get it. It's hard. It doesn't mean you can't start either. Doesn't mean you can't start. There's no harm in starting. It's a problem when you start and you haven't even finished. And that is one of the most heartbreaking things. You start so well, but you didn't even finish. You didn't even finish. But that's life, you know. But I thank you guys for tuning in and checking this video out, though. But change is a crazy thing, even if it's positive or negative. It's a crazy we live in. It's a crazy world, man.